I'm a little bit like Osho in that I set devices and help people get undone by showing them where they're still caught. Because I see higher consciousness as an undoing process, a stripping down process.
What are the common traps on the path to enlightenment?
Most people fall into the same trap, and the trap is the collection of knowledge. No amount of knowledge ever raised anyone's consciousness levels. No amount of knowledge ever healed a wound of the heart. And no amount of knowledge ever took away defense systems and resistance to life. Unfortunately, because we all went to school and we were trained to collect knowledge so we could repeat it and pass exams, people try using this methodology for higher consciousness, and it simply does not work. What works is witnessing the mind and seeing how the mind works, how it operates, and removing anything that's in the way. Any obstacle that's in the way of heart, any obstacle that's in the way of truth. That's what works. The whole idea that collecting knowledge works is a fallacy. No way does it work. Yet this is where most seekers fail. They collect knowledge by listening to this teacher, that teacher, reading this book on spirituality, another book on spirituality, getting conflicting understandings and ideas, but at the same time collecting knowledge.
Did you fall into this trap as a seeker?
Well, my spiritual master, Osho, talked about this particular trap quite a lot, but being as thick as I was, I didn't hear him. We don't tend to hear that we don't want to hear. We blind ourselves to what we don't want to see. And for some reason, I had blinded myself for a lot of years to his teachings about the collection of knowledge being a fallacy. But it dawned on me that he was right. It dawned on me when I found truth, because I started having satori's in 1987, and I found truth as self. I found myself as the totality of the universe, and no amount of knowledge supported that. It was an accident that occurred while self-inquiring, and no amount of knowledge helped. Only my ability to surrender unconditionally helped. Nothing else. And unconditional surrender is a non-doing, so the ego can't do that. The ego can practice let go, it can practice acceptance. That's all it can do. It can remove the obstacles that are in the way that stop a successful let go, that stop a successful acceptance. But no amount of knowledge helps.
Why is knowledge so in the way of higher consciousness and truth?
I've met a lot of university professors over the years, and most of them don't have higher consciousness, and they are absolutely chock-a-block full of knowledge. Higher consciousness is gained by seeing through the mind and undoing all of the things that keep you locked in lower consciousness. And from what I can tell, the best way to do that is by witnessing the mind from developing a silent witness that witnesses the mind without judgment. And that takes practice, a lot of practice. And from that, you get detachment from the mind, so you don't get caught in the stories of the mind, and you get to see what the tricky little thing's up to.
So the insights that come through meditation and witnessing the mind, are these insights also classified as knowledge?
Yeah, insight is an invitation to do the work. It is not the work. And this is where a lot of people make a mistake also, particularly those people who take drugs to get insights. They think that the insight they gain is the answer. It is the invitation to do the work. That's all it is. It's an invitation. So you see something that's not working in yourself, and then you actually have to change it. And we change the modelling of the mind, the default patterns, through repetition. Insight alone is not enough. It's a booby prize, the same as the collection of knowledge is a booby prize. Because then the insight just becomes another piece of knowledge that's been collected. If you have an insight as to what's in the way, then you have to remove what's in the way. That's the work. And that takes a fair bit of doing.
I have one more question. A lot of the people that get involved in spirituality are interested in relaxation, finding inner peace. Does that go hand in hand with raising your consciousness?
The chasing of inner peace is people trying to escape feeling something. And so escapists don't make it into higher consciousness, because the escapism itself keeps you locked in lower consciousness. People who make it into higher consciousness are willing to feel whatever's there, to be with whatever appears. They're not chasing inner peace to get away from what's there. Because what's there is probably repressed emotionality, wounding. And unless we're willing to feel that, we can't heal it. So the chasing of inner peace is usually people trying to get away from what's inside of themselves that they find unpleasant. Once all that is cleared, once awareness becomes aware of itself, which is enlightenment, you find that one of the qualities of yourself, without you as an I, is peace. Another quality is silence. Another quality is stillness. But these are not qualities of the mind. Not really. These are qualities that the mind perceives when awareness is aware of itself continually, which is enlightenment.
I've been with one master for a couple of years now, and I feel
Who's
a very strong pull.
Who's that? Yeah, who is it?
Muji.
Muji, yeah. He's kind of a Krishna teacher. He teaches the way of the heart through Advaita Vedanta.
I started off reading Osho for a couple of years. There was nothing but Osho. And then life kind of took me here next to Muji. I wasn't planning my travel or anything. I just happened to find myself living next to his ashram. So then it kind of started with him from there. And now
So
that
you're
I've been...
You're in Portugal. Yeah, right.
I saw your videos way before this, and I felt a strong pull to come and see you, but at that time, I wasn't ready to do that kind of move. It wasn't, the fire wasn't so strong. But at this point, I'll do anything, you know? It doesn't matter. So my question is that I feel a strong pull to come and sit with you. Is it just my mind playing tricks and seeing the grass greener on the other side?
No.
Does it have some truth?
You're being called. I was called the same way. I was a businessman when I was first called, and I had no interest in spirituality whatsoever. I was actually a Roman Catholic. And I went and did a group, an Osho group, and during the group, I felt this calling to go to Osho. It was just like a pull. And I took sannyas and I went. I didn't even think about it. I just didn't even consider it. I just went because I could feel I was being pulled. And I think this is what happens to seekers. They get pulled to where they can die. Because enlightenment is a death. The I doesn't make it to enlightenment. You start finding yourself as the space of everything, and the I disappears completely, and all you're left with is everything without an I. And so you're very welcome. But you are coming, Osho used to say, I'm not your dear old uncle, I'm your murderer. And people go, ah, but it's true.
I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit like Osho in that I set devices and help people get undone by showing them where they're still caught. Because I see higher consciousness as an undoing process, a stripping down process, not a process of making you bigger, better and more powerful, but making you less than, humble. And that's a destructive process. So satsang is a destructive process. And so people come to me and I slowly strip them down. And if they can handle it, it's good. If they don't, they run away. But you know, what the heck? I do my best because anyone that comes is a seeker and I try to help them get free. And if you came here, I would try to help you get free.
Thank you so much.
What are you feeling right now? What's in your head?
Not much. I feel very alive.
Yeah, I can feel the vacancy in your mind. And that vacancy is a great beginning because in that vacancy we can start to see something else besides the dreams that appear. You are very welcome here.